Welcome back. You're watching Power Lunch here with us on NDTV Profit. Markets are clearly holding strong as we speak. Nifty on your screens holding above 7780 level, up about 33 points or so. Sensex is also up close to 0.5% or so, 108 points up in the green and holding above 26,100 level quite strongly. Now let's talk about DB Corp as we've been talking about the earning season. So DB Corp, that particular company has also come out with its numbers. That particular stock is up close to 0.5% or so. Not bad when it comes to the earnings of the company. Sales at 472 crore versus 427.6 crore in the second quarter. Net profit was also slightly higher at 68.1 crore, and the company is now going to be focusing a lot on consolidation, and their margins did not really were as the street was anticipating. I spoke to the management earlier, Mr. Girish Agarwal, director at DB Corp, about the numbers posted by the company in the second quarter. When I asked him about the top line growth, which was close to 10%, and what happened to the margins front, then this is what he had to say.
See, the total revenue 9.2% has a ad revenue growth of about 9% and a circulation revenue growth of about 15%. If you look at the margin, they've grown by about 14% at about 26.5. Of this, the mature edition margin stands at about 32%. So about 4.5 to 5% of a margin is going in funding the emerging editions of Jharkhand, Maharashtra and Bihar. What has also happened in this quarter is the newsprint price has gone down by about 3% over the previous quarter, and we are hoping that this will soften even further in the coming quarters.
Talking about the margins now, they were not as per the street estimates. Is it because the company is funding the Bihar launch as well? That also happened in the last 6 months or so?
So margins, as I said, were about 32% for the mature. So on the expansion, there are 3 states which are right now in emerging. The top line is at 9%. What has also happened in the top line is the government revenues in last year similar quarter. If I remove the government revenues, the overall ad revenue growth stands at about 12%. So if the government would have also performed this quarter, which of course didn't because there was a higher spend of government in the previous year, the ad growth would have been about 12%. However, if you look at the, to answer your next question on the funding of the emerging editions, Bihar is about 9 months old. Jharkhand and Maharashtra are about 4 years old now. Jharkhand is going towards EBITDA positive by end of this financial year, and Maharashtra, which is about 3.5-year-old now. So the key additions which were launched in the 3.5 years ago are going to become EBITDA positive at the end of this financial year. So these two would take away the burden from the overall margin, which stands at about 26.5%. So there's a 5% gap between the overall margin versus the mature edition market EBITDA.
What was the ad revenue growth in this quarter, the July to September period, given that the festive period starts in this time?
Hopefully the third quarter should be better, as I said, because the festive season, though it lasts only for 30 days, what happens is it sets the tone for the rest of the year. So what we are focusing more is on, because there was already a base of this revenue last year as well. So last year also we carried a lot of volume. What's important for us in this season is to set the tone for the advertisers to keep this momentum going for the remaining months, remaining quarters of the year, and which we are hoping is slowly happening. We are seeing positive trends from real estate, the FMCG, the e-commerce, the telecom, the mobile handset manufacturers. We are seeing good positive trends from each of the categories, and we are also hoping that some of the reforms, the policy changes by the government would start to show impact on the actual ground, because the actual ground movement is yet to be felt.
What was the performance of the other segments, the radio and digital business segments?
Radio did about 33% revenue growth and ended at about 38% margin with about 23 crores of revenue. The radio business is again largely, a lot of thrust is on the retail, and radio has benefited this quarter from automobile and e-commerce and real estate. So a lot of advertisers which were not of automobile especially, and the e-commerce which are not buying radio in the last year same quarter, have started to buy radio as well in their media plan to do a complete coverage, and that's why.
All right, Mr. Agarwal, talking about the e-commerce business in particular, what's going to be a strategy going ahead from here on?
The digital business, the focus is on adding new visitors to these portals, to mobile apps, and our target is to make sure that anybody from our Hindi heartland and Gujarati and Marathi heartland, wherever people want to go for content, they should come to our content properties on the web, be it a mobile app or a website. So that's the endeavor. So we are only comparing ourselves with what's the total internet population and how many people from those internet population are already on our brand. So that's the only focus there, and with that the revenues will also start to come. So the revenue number is very small, so that's why the revenue growth is shown as about 57% this quarter, because the base is very small. So the base has to, the focus will be to grow the base of customers, and then of course the revenues will anyways follow.
All right, so there you heard the management of DB Corp talking about their future plans as well. They will be now focusing on consolidation and on their e-commerce business as well. Moving on, let's go across to NIIT now.